Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to KG Techs. This is the sixth video on Python programming playlist, and in this tutorial, we will learn about conditional statements in Python. So, conditional statements are essential concept in programming, and it basically allows you to make a decision in our code based on the specific conditions. So, by the end of this tutorial, you will learn how to use if, elif, if else, and nested if statements effectively. Okay. So conditional statements are often the backbone of any programming language. Conditional statements allow us to make decisions in our code based on the specific conditions. Okay. In Python, an if statement allows us to execute certain code blocks only when a specified condition is true. Okay. So you can see the syntax of the if statement here. So just take an example if you want to check if the user is eligible for voting. Okay. So in that case, what you can do, you can provide the if condition here. Okay. So if that expression gets, if that condition gets satisfied, then only this particular block of code will be get executed. Okay. Here we have a if else statement. Okay. The if else statement basically extends the if statement by providing an alternative code block that is executed when the condition is false. Okay. So if you see here the syntax over here where we have to provide the if condition and we need to provide the else block as well. So let's say if this condition will get false, so that time this else block of code will be get executed. So let's see the same example. Let's say if you want to see if the user is eligible for the voting or not. Okay. So in that case, if the user age is greater than or equal to 18, this piece of code will be get executed. If not, then if the condition will be get false. Okay, if the user age is less than 18, so this else code block will be get executed. Okay. So the third statement which we have, which is a elif statement, and that is also called as a else if statement. Okay. So the elif statement allow us to test the multiple condition and execute different code blocks accordingly. Okay. The syntax of if elif statement is as follows. You can see here if condition one, if the one condition gets true, this block of code will be get executed. You can check the another condition also here. If that particular condition 2 is satisfied, then this code of block will be get executed. Okay. If none of the conditions get satisfied, the else condition will be get executed over here. Okay. Then fourth we have, which is called as a nested if statement. Okay. So in nested if, you basically can nest if statement inside one another to handle the more complex scenarios. Okay. So nested if statements are useful when we need to test the additional conditions within the if or else block. Okay. So let's see the operators over here. Okay. So in Python, comparison operators are used to compare two values or expression and return a Boolean value. Okay. So it basically returns you either a true value or false based on the result of a comparison. Okay. So these operations are fundamental for making decisions in conditional statements and the loops. So here are some of the comparison operators in Python. You can see there, these are the commonly used operators in Python. Okay. Which we have a equal to. So equal to basically we use to check if the two values or the expression are true or not. We have a not equal to, which basically checks if the two values or the expression is not equal. Okay. We have a greater than, which checks if the value or the expression on the left hand side is greater than the right hand side. Okay. Then we have a less than, where it checks if the value of expression on the left hand side, which is a less than the value which we have on the right hand side. Okay. So we have greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. So greater than or equal to basically checks if the value or expression, okay, which is on the left hand side, which is a greater than or equal to from the right hand side. Okay. And for the less than or equal to, it checks if the value or the expression on the left hand side is less than or equal to the greater hand side. Okay. These some of the additional operators allows for more precise comparison and checks in the Python. Okay. So each operator basically checks if the two variables refers to the same object or not. Okay. For example, so when you will define the some variables, okay, in the Python, so what is the memory location of this particular variables, whether those two variables are pointing to the same memory address or not, that we can identify using the if is operator. Okay. We have a is not the is not operator basically checks if the two variables do not refers to the same object. Okay, we and the third operator which we have, which is a in. The in operator checks if a value exists in the sequence or not. Okay, so a sequence, for example, as a string, list, tuple, or any dictionary. Okay, so basically this in operator, with the help of in operator, we can find out if the particular object, okay, or if the particular value is available inside that particular sequence or not. Then we have not in operator. So not in operator also checks if the value does not exist in that particular sequence. Okay. Then we have a logical operators. Okay. So logical operators are commonly used in conditional statements to combine the multiple conditions. Okay. And make the decision based on the result of it. They are particularly useful when you need to check for multiple conditions simultaneously. Okay, so we have a AND operator. The AND operator returns true only if the both of the operands are true. Okay, otherwise it returns the false. We have OR operator. The OR operator returns the true at least one of the operand is true. Okay, so if both of the operands are false, then only it returns the false, otherwise it returns the true value. Okay, not basically the not operand negates the value of the operand. Okay, if the operand is true, it returns the false, and if the operand is false, it returns the true value. Okay. Okay, so let's move it to the VS code. So I have already created a file over here with the name of 06 underscore conditional underscore statements.py. Okay, and let's define a doc string here. So we have already seen why we have to define the doc string. Okay, so this doc string is basically on the model level. So I will give developer is equal to kg text. Will give date, which is 08 08 2023, and we'll give the description here, just tutorial on conditional statements in Python. Okay, let's see the if statement here. Okay, so let's write a one program here. We basically will take an input from the user and we will ask what is the user age, and based on that we will see if the user is eligible for voting. Okay, so let's see user. Let's define one variable. User age is equal to the user age. Basically we expect into the integer format, so I will use the integer typecasting here, as by default input function returns the string value. Okay, which we have seen in our previous tutorial. Okay, so int input, and here will I enter your age. Okay, and we'll see, and here we will write the if statement. If, so to write the if statement you need to use the if keyword, and after that you need to use the conditional statement. Okay, if the user age is greater than or equal to 18. Okay, and display a message to the user, print you are eligible for voting. Okay, so here you can see, uh, if in JavaScript or in Java or any C sharp, okay, or C programming, we have seen that if you write any conditional statement, let's say user age is greater than or equal to 18, then you open the curly braces basically to define the scope of that particular statement here. Okay, so here you will write your statement 1, statement 1, or statement 2, etc. Okay, here. Okay, and if similarly if there is a else statement, you write the statements here. Okay, now let's remove this one. So Python identifies what the code has been written inside this if block. Okay, so if you have seen, when I hit enter, it reserves some couple of spaces in the beginning of the code. Okay, so this we call as a indentation in the Python. So in Python, indentation refers to the spaces or the tabs at the beginning of a line. Okay, that basically determines the grouping and the structure of the code. Okay, so Python basically relies on the indentation to indicate the scope of a statement within loops, functions, classes, and the conditional statements. Okay, so indentation is basically a fundamental part of Python syntax, and it plays a crucial role in making the code for more readable and the visually consistent. Okay, run this program, Python 06, and if I provide the age over here, if I provide 19, you can see I will get this message here over here. Okay, which is a you are eligible for voting. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let's see the if else statement now. So we'll use the same example. Okay, where we will see if the particular condition is not satisfied, then we will prompt a message to the user which will be you are not eligible for voting. Okay, so let's see. So here I will give the age as a, so here I will enter the age as a 10, and see, this is the message that we get it. You are not eligible for voting. Okay. So let's see how this execution happens. Okay. How this program gets executed. So when this program will be get run, okay. So it asks us to provide the age value. Okay. So when we write here, let's say if I write 20, so this 20 will be get stored into this user underscore age variable. Okay, and in this condition we check if the user underscore age, which is 20, is greater than or equal to 18 or not. Okay, so if you see, this condition will return the true value. Okay, so if I print this, if user age is greater than or equal to 18, we will come to know whether it returns the true or false. Okay, so if returns this particular statements, okay, this condition returns the true, it this message will be get displayed to the user. If not, then this message will be get displayed to the user. Okay, let's run this program, and okay, let me save and run this program once again. And now you can see here, based on the condition, it has written the true value here. Okay, so since this condition returns the true, this statement will be get executed. And if not, let's run this program once again, and let's give the 10 as a user age. And now you can see this condition is false. Okay, so in that case, this else statement will be get executed. Okay, and this message will be get displayed to the user. Okay, let's see the another example of elif statement. Okay, which is basically a else if statements. Okay, so in previous tutorial, we have taken one example of if elif statement. Okay, so this is the example where we basically accept a student percentage, and we check in which particular that class this student falls under. Okay, so if let's say if the student percentage is greater than 75 and less than 100, we give the distinction. Okay, distinction class, or else first class or second class, etc. Okay, so in this today's tutorial, we will take the same example, but we'll see how we can optimize this code. Okay, so if you can see here, I have added the multiple conditions. Okay, so let's get the student percentage here. Student underscore percentage is equal to this value. Basically, we expect into the float format, or float data type, you can say, float input, and enter your percentage. Okay, and let's write a program. If student percentage is greater than or equal to 75, and student percentage is less than or equal to 100. Okay, then we will display a message to the student. Hooray, you are you have passed with distinction. Okay, Now let's see the Elif, okay, statement here. So Elif basically we add to check the multiple condition statements. Okay. So in Elif we will write student percentage which is greater than or equal to 60. Let's display a message to the user. You have passed with first class. Okay. Let's use another Elif statement. Student percentage which is greater than or equal to 35. Let's print you have passed with second class, and let's use another Elif statement which is student percentage which is greater than or equal to 0. Let's print sorry you have failed, and let's use the else statement where we will give sorry please invalid input, please enter the percentage in valid format, or please enter the valid percentage. Okay, so let's save and run this program. Okay, I will provide enter. Okay, one second, I think some of the code is still there. Okay, let me rerun this program once again, and here it is basically prompting me to enter your percentage. Okay, so here I will give the percentage as a 45. Okay, let's hit enter. So let's see how this how the code execution happens. Okay, so when the user will enter the percentage as a 45, this will be get stored into student percentage variable. Okay, so in if condition, okay, basically this is a, you can see we have combined the two conditions or expressions over here. Okay, so it will check if the student percentage is greater than or equal to 75 or not. Okay, so in our case we have a 45 as a student percentage, which will check if this condition gets true or not. Since this is a false, this control will go to the elif statement. Okay, so since we have used the and over here, it will check if the both the conditions will get satisfied, then only it will go and print this statement over here. Okay, since it's a 45, it will, the control will be passed to elif statement. Again here it will check if the 45 is greater than or equal to 60 or not. Okay, this condition also get false, and then control will be moved to the third elif statement. Okay, here it will check the student percentage. Okay, the 45 is greater than or equal to 35 or not. So this now this statement will be get satisfied. Okay, this condition, and now we will get this display message that you have passed with the second class. So the another way to find out if the conditions are getting satisfied or not, we can use the print statement, and inside that we can pass this conditions which we have given over here. Okay, so this basically will return us the true or false value. Okay, so print student percentage is greater than or equal to 60, and I will give print student percentage is greater than or equal to 35. Okay, now let's rerun this program with the same values. I will add a 45 point. So this time I will add 00 as a percentage. And you can see here the first condition, okay, student percentage is greater than equal to 75 or less than equal to 100, which gets false. And second, which is, percentage is greater than 60. This also has become false. Okay. And the third one has got executed. Okay. So based on that, we have got this message over here. Okay, if we return the if we enter any negative percentage, for example -20, okay, so it will give us the sorry in invalid input, please enter the valid percentage. Okay, so this is how we can write the if elif statements. Okay, and we can optimize the code. Now let's comment this code. Let's see the another example of nested if statements. Okay, nested if statements. Okay, so here basically we will take the two inputs from the user. We will check if the user has a card and if the user has a valid password or not. Okay, and based on that we will allow the user to withdraw the money from the ATM. Okay, so let's say uh, is debit card exist? Okay, input, do you have debit card? Okay, is enter pin details. Okay, so input, which is a integer value, enter your pin. Okay, now let's write a if condition. If is debit card exist is equal to yes. Okay, then it should go inside, and where, okay, here we will write one statement, else we will say you are not allowed to withdraw the money, okay, from account, okay, or from ATM. And here we will see one more condition. Okay, so if pin details is equal to, let's say, 4444. Okay, so in Python we use the double equal to, for the comparison purpose. uh, then print, you can withdraw the money from account, from ATM. Okay, else print incorrect password, please enter the valid password. Okay, so this is the this is the example of the nested if. Okay, so where inside if we have used one more if statement, and based on that second condition we are checking if the user is eligible to withdraw the money from the ATM or not. Okay, so let's run this program. Okay, and do you have a debit card? I will give yes, and enter your pin. Okay, so this time I will give the wrong pin, so I will give 8888, and it should give me this error message. Okay, so incorrect password, please enter the valid password. Okay, if I give the proper details, okay, which is a correct details, so I will give a yes, and then if I give 4444 as a pin, it basically allows me to withdraw the money from the ATM. Okay, and if I let's say if I run this program, and instead of yes, if I provide no, if I don't have a debit card, okay, it basically asks for the pin also, so I will just give any pin, and it renders me this message. Okay, so this is, the one of the example to understand how this nested if works. Okay, you can, okay, if the user has a debit card, you can write this program in this way, where inside this you can get the, pin details if the user has a debit cards. Now if I run this program, and if I write no here, okay, do you have a debit card, if I provide the value as a no, it, instead of executing this block of code, it will go to the second else block and it will execute this code. Okay, let's comment this code. Let's see some of the examples from these operators. Okay, is not in and not in. Okay, so let's use int underscore a is equal to 123, int underscore b is equal to 123. Okay, so if we wanted to check if this both variables are basically pointing to a one memory address or not. Okay, to find out the ID of this particular variable, we need to use the ID function, and we need to pass the valid object here. Okay, which is the int a, and similarly I will do for the int underscore b variable. Okay, and here we will see print int underscore a is int underscore b. Okay, also we will see if this returns a true for this double equal to, okay, equality operator. Let's run this program. If you can see this int a and int b, these basically two variables are pointing to the same memory address in the memory. Okay, and you can see here the value of this int a and int b is equal to 1 to 3. So it has given the true value for this both the print statements. Okay, if we use, let's say, one list, okay, list 1 is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, we'll use list 2 is equal to list 1, and we'll define one more list, list 3 is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, now let's see if print a, this list 1, list 2 and list 3 both are pointing to the same memory address or not. Okay, print lst1 is equal to, or let's use is lst2 is lst3. This is operator basically we have seen, okay, in the beginning of this video, to checks if the variable refers to the same object or not. Okay, basically to identify if this all these lists are pointing to the same memory address or not. Okay, so if you check the memory address of this all these three lists, id of lst1, id of lst2 and id of lst3. Okay, so here you can see first two lists, list 1 and list 2 are pointing to the same memory address, but list 3 is pointing to the different memory address. So if I remove the third conditional statement, if I run this program, we should get the true value here. Okay, so this is how this is operator works. And if we type lst1 is not lst2, sorry, lst3, it should give us it should return us the true value. Okay, because this list 1 and list 3 is not pointing to the same address in the memory. Okay, let's comment this code. Let's see the another example of in operator. Okay, so let's define a fruit list, sorry, is equal to apple, mango, banana, kiwi. Okay, and let's take the user input. Enter the fruit name which you want to search. Okay, in the list. Okay, and then we will add a if condition here. If user input is in fruit list, print f statement, f string, and I will write here user input is available inside fruit list. Okay, and we'll write a else statement where we will write is not available in the fruit list. Okay, so let's run this program now, and it basically prompts me to enter the fruit name which I want to search it into this list. Okay, so if I give let's say orange as a input, it should give me orange is not available inside the fruit list. Okay, so this input, so this when this program will be get executed, this four values will be get stored inside this fruit list. Okay, and then this in operator basically checks here if the value that we have taken from the user as a orange, which is available inside this list or not. Okay, inside this fruit list. If it is not there, then the else statement will be get executed. If it is there, then if statement will be get executed here. Okay, so let's say if I rerun this program, if I enter kiwi, it should give me kiwi is available inside the fruit list. Okay, similar way you can change this in operator here with not in, If user input not in fruit list, then it should give me this one. Okay, is not available basically. Okay, this if print statement will get changed. This will go to the else statement and this will go to if statement. Okay, let's run this program now. And if I give the fruit name which is not available inside this list, let's say strawberry, and it gives strawberry is not available inside the fruit list. Okay, let's comment this code. Let's see one of the example of this OR operator. Okay, let's take an input from the user voting card. Okay, we will check with user if the user has a voting card or not. Okay, do you have voting card? Okay, and then we'll see if, okay, here we'll ask applied for voting card. Okay, input, do you have you applied for voting card? Okay, so if both any one of this condition is true, we should allow user to vote for the particular election. Okay, so let's use the if statement. If user underscore voting card is equal to yes, or if applied for voting card is equal to yes, then let's display a message to the user, you are eligible for voting. Okay, if not, let's print the statement, you are not eligible for voting. Okay, let's save and run this program. So do you have a voting card? I will give yes. And have you applied for voting card? I will give no here. Okay, so this if statement basically checks if one of the condition is a true or not. Okay, so this OR operator basically checks if one of this operand is a true or not, and based on that it executes this statement. Since this user voting card is equal to yes is true, it basically displayed this message as a you are eligible for a voting. If I give both as a no, then it should print me the else statement here. Okay, you are not eligible for voting. That's it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching this video and have a great day.